you might notice that I'm on Firefox. That is because, you know, Chrome ad blocker stuff, it's bad, so I'm on Firefox. Yeah, I haven't recorded a video in a little bit. I do have a Pokemon video in the backlog, but I feel like it would, you know, considering I uploaded the Donkey Kong one, which is also not movie-related, you know, having two non-movie-related things in a row in 2 weeks, like, that, I don't know, it's just kind of lame, so I'm recording this a day before Wednesday, you know, when I upload on Wednesday. So, this is movie category minute barrier predictions, as in, like, I'm obviously not the date, I'm not like, oh my god, I think 219 in Hundo is gonna happen in 2099, like, obviously it wouldn't take that long, but what I mean is that it's just the next minute barrier, and it's literally just like, well, just what order I think they're gonna happen, and some I haven't even included. There's only a few categories I've included because some of them, like all extras, like look how incredibly far away it is. Great run, I said in this description, so it's like, you know, so these are just for the ones where it's like actually like currently possible to get to touch the next minute barrier, or at least like the most possible ones. So first, I will eventually do an analysis on no-level resets. I mean, I'd say an analysis, like, obviously I can't do, like, a proper analysis, I haven't played the category, but, like, I do understand a decent bit about it. But yeah, I don't know, like, it's just the fact that chat is currently active, the time is 59:00, the sum of best is 55:42. And by the end of the run, yeah, 55:24. And I don't think he's ran the category that much. Yeah, and he lost a bunch of time in Neptune, like 50 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty clear that the only way this wouldn't be the first run to get to the next minute barrier would be because, a different minute barrier is achieved, but then somebody else would, like, by a mile, the two most possible right now are no level resets and any percent Xbox. And this run was done 2 months ago. Sky is not currently playing movie, so while they could just randomly decide to come back today, and then it's entirely possible that they... But even then, it seems like 58 in NLR seems more likely than, or it seems easier than movie any percent Xbox in 18 because there's just a lot more leniency. So I'd like, even then, I would still expect NLR to be the first one to go down to 58. I mean, if anything, you know, 57 even. Then next is 1903 by Sky. If I recall correctly, I think this is the one where Sky made a mistake in Neptune. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if this is the one. They lost 18 to getting hit in Neptune. And I guess it wasn't this run. I thought they got hit in this run, but they still lost like 4 seconds, which would have been enough. And there was another run they had where they mismenued to Knucklehead, which would have been on 18 pace going into Neptune. So yeah, I mean, with any percent Xbox, it is just kind of doing the same stuff, but the stuff is a little hard. I think Sky even, like... Sky found some time saves, but I'm unsure if they were implemented or if all of them were implemented. Hey. Either way, though, there is such a huge gap, even between this and the next thing that I have, which is, 100%. So yeah, that's... It's just these two. Like, the likelihood of NLR being the next one to break is literally like 9 out of 10. And, well, 90%, let's just say that. And this one's like 85% or 80. This one is quite unlikely. It does depend on, like, if big stuff gets found, obviously, with, like, ball storage, but assuming no, like, huge time saves is just, like, a few, well, even, like, a couple small time saves a year, like, that kind of thing. 220 is technically possible in Hundo, and I just realized I didn't get the video up for tunnel clip thingy, so I will be right back. Okay, here we go. So, It's a little outdated, the timing, but it does save a lot. So, like, okay, so the amount of time to save is 26 seconds, right? So what has been found since this run? Not that much, but still some stuff, like, well, I don't think we've seen if it, like, if it saves time in extras categories, but there is, like, a faster SCDA, and I don't know how worth it is, because you can, you know, you don't have that much leniency to not get hit by the spitter, but that saves like a second, or it might have been a second and a half. There is a faster floating block cycle you can get, and assuming it saves the same amount of time in extras categories, it saves like 3 seconds. So that's something as well, so that's like 4 seconds, and then there's actually a recent discovery that I technically made. So in Hundo, we were doing 3K bungee late, because it allows you to guitar the extra. So you don't have to, like, slowly bash. Like you can see here now. However, it was realized, like, I realized when, because we needed to change this route anyway because of a different time save that I'll talk about in a second, which I also should have got footage for, fucking who cares. But basically, okay, so this loses, like, 2 seconds, right? Or rather, this saves 2 seconds to do this in late game. At the cost of having to 2-frame the bungee token, or buffering it, because if you miss that, you would have, you have to do an extra load, so you would lose a bunch of time. Although, well, you partly negate it with the 2 seconds of time save from the thing, but yeah. So you're adding, like, a very small amount of difficulty, a very, very small amount, or a fairly decent amount of difficulty, if you aren't buffering it, but... Yeah, but then, it occurred to me, if you move Bungie to early game again, that allows you to 2-frame the monster token in Now That We're Men, because what that does is that you 2-frame, you walk backwards for a tiny bit to grab the floating block warp, because that is like because otherwise then you would waste an extra load not going into floating block, but then you would waste an extra load getting out of floating block again. So you need to temporarily skip floating block and then come back to it, like, from somewhere from SCDA onwards. So you can 2-frame, again, the buffer for that token even saves, if I recall correctly, just under 3 seconds. So it was always fast, it turns out, to do Bungie early anyway. That was a long explanation, but that saved a second in itself, and then we have the 3K token deaths, which got found recently. Well, one of them was already known, but we didn't know that we could, like, make it fast. It was thought to, like, not really be doable, but then, you know, we worked it out. You can either do it the pussy way, which saves, like, 4 seconds or something, or you can do it the hard way, which saves, like, 7. So even the 4, I mean, then with the 3K early thing anyway, so it's like 5 seconds, and then the SCDA thing is 6, and then the faster floating block cycle is 9. So 9 seconds right there, and it's not like I didn't make any mistakes. I mean, you know, there's still 50 minutes to go in the run at this point, but at this point in the run, I'm plus 18 on my best ever pace. I did get some crazy paces, because I ran so much, but yeah, you can see here, I don't even know what happened here, but I lost 11 off of even the pace splits. I missed Sunday Jump, although it seems like a fast miss, to be fair, but I still missed it. You know, I'm sure other stuff happened. It's a little hard to remember. I lost a bit of time in Plank, so I probably died doing the wall jump section thing. I doubt my combats were perfect. Like... yeah, I don't know. Again, it's hard to remember on my time save. But there is obviously time save, so from all that alone, it might seem like it's just barely possible. And, I don't know, like, again, you gotta think, like, realistically, like, the run is really long. Like, yeah, there are times where you don't really do anything for a while, like a ring challenge. I mean, well, you still need to cut the corners, but relatively, you're doing, like, nothing. But there's a lot of, like, tough stuff in the run, and it's very long, quite the endurance test, and... you know, I'm not gonna say it's, like, impossible, because it's not, but, like, it would be probably, like, a 10 out of 10 run, I would say. It would almost certainly be, like, a 10 out of 10 run. However, there is something else that we can do, and this was already known. It was found, well, the original Out of Bounds clip was found by Latte, and then, no, it was found by Jaxla, then Latte found the good one, and then I tested it in Hundo, and it saved, I was expecting it to save like 5 seconds, but it actually saves like 20. So, but the reason why I said, like, the time isn't fully accurate is because it factored getting the 3k extra late, early. Actually, no, I don't think it did, actually, but it's still, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's, like, some mag stuff, but it doesn't really matter. So this would actually make it, like, realistic if you could get this, like, consistently. If you could get this consistently, then 220 hundo is, like, it's, you know, it would still be hard, but you just take the 221.26, take, like, 20 seconds from this, if you get it consistent. It saves, like, 22, but let's just say, like, 20. Especially because it's skipping Spewer Boost as well, so, like, it, you know, it's removing a very hard trick. And then, yeah, so it's basically get the same run, get this trick, and then make, like, either, like, implement the 3k token stuff, so you make it a little, or just make, like, one less mistake, you know, like, just don't miss Thunder Jump, you know, like, any of those things will barely get you to that too. So, while it would be a better run than what I currently have, even if this were 100% consistent, like, clearly then, like, it wouldn't be the most ridiculous request in the world, you know what I mean? Like, that absolutely could be done. It'd be like a 9 out of 10 run, but, like, absolutely, well, not with that, I mean, but because of the difficulty of the trick, which, yeah, finally I can get to the trick. So after grabbing, the extra here, you would jump to these boxes, ledge grab, and then I had to splice this because it's fucking abysmal. I've never, not this, but, like, getting back in bounds, I've never gotten it ever, not one single time, so, yeah. So you navigate around, there's some invisible walls, it's kind of aids, and then you drop down, and you need to get back in bounds. You need, like, a weird angle to even get back in bounds, and then you need to face SpongeBob away from the turret bullets at the right time. So you need to do it, like, a couple seconds ahead of time. You need to predict when the bullets are going to travel and everything. And even then, which direction the turret shoots in is RNG as well, by the way. But anyway, then you get damaged by it and bash boost off of it. I wasn't sure if the ledge grab was, like, guaranteed, so I just fucking ledge grabbed in the comparison, because, like, yeah, I mean, come on. But yeah, and then you would skip that whole section, and then in late game, so obviously normally, we would guitar the thingy and then grab the extra. However, in this, because we need to get across anyway, it's actually just faster to just do it casually. And then you would R-clip into the tunnel. This isn't that hard. Drop down. Hopefully you're on a good cycle there. Well, you should be, because I timed this from combat, so there's no reason why you wouldn't be on the right cycle if you got the clip fast enough. It can be a little finicky, but it's not I mean, it's not like it's not going to save time overall if you don't get the slide clip. That slide clip was found years ago, by the way, so it's cool that it has a theoretical application. And then you would do bungee. And I also factored that your bungee cycle would be off, so you can't do bungee ball into the timing. But yeah, that you actually, if you do everything quickly, you actually do get a good bungee cycle there. Oh yeah, I did factor that you do this early. Yeah, so that can't even be factored into the timing. So this saves even more than back then. Yeah, it saves like 20, yeah, so it's saving like 26 seconds or something. That's kind of nuts. And then you can probably, I don't know what you would even do with mag when it comes to extras at that point, but yeah, 26. And you can even just wait for the bullets to get the right RNG and everything. You can take time to, yeah, so it'd save like 20, very realistically, if you could actually get it. But again, remember when I said I couldn't clip in literally one time ever? Not, I mean, I could get in, but, like, even that was hard. But I couldn't get damaged by the fucking bullets, let alone ledge grab the platform. Like, so there are two paths we can go down, right? Either just, like, a couple more time saves and then get, like, a really good run, or get this and then get a pretty good run. Those are the two paths right now. maybe this could be made consistent, but you know, considering I'm supposed to be done with the game, I don't really want to grind this for like hours every day just to see if it, oh wow, instead of getting it 0% of the time, now I get it 10% of the time. Yes! And also, right, like, the turret is active from when you spawn in. So, like, yeah, I think he's made active, and then you pass a trigger, and then he deactivates and immediately reactivates. I swear it's something like that. And also, like, these are on cycle, these platforms, and if you get a bad angle, you might not be able to ledge grab this. I mean, this is a pretty unfavorable angle, to be fair, but it could have been worse. Like, you saw, like, it could have been even worse, and if that happens, you'd probably need a near-perfect angle, like, angle towards it near perfectly to be able to grab, ledge grab it. It's just, like... So, if you make any mistakes at the beginning of the level, which with the inconsistent ball extra strat is entirely possible, or even just any other mistake you can make, like, it might be a little hard to even get here on the same cycle every single time. You basically need a practice mod for this, and it has been made, but again, I just don't know if I'm really willing to grind that out. But that is why it is the third most realistic, is because it's like... It is theoretically possible anyway. And then this, if you could get it consistent, absolutely would make it possible. Oh yeah, there is also shit like Weenie out of bounds, but that saves less time in Hundo because of extras, so... And then, you know, mag shenanigans, and yeah, so instead of saving 7, it'd save probably like fucking 5 or something, I don't know. But... Yeah. So, it's pretty clear the Hundo, then, is like... the most realistic that isn't, like, literally right there. But it's still not looking great. Also, obviously, I'm not factoring, like, oh, what if we were on hard drive? Because then that's a lot of hypotheticals, you know, can't do lag. All that stuff. With, like, B drive, I feel like 220 wouldn't be too bad. I don't know how much it probably, like, a really good one, it probably would save, like, 25 seconds or some shit in Hundo. Maybe a bit less, I don't know, but... You still need to get, like, a slightly better run than this, but that absolutely, like, yeah, that'd make it possible, but, like, this is just assuming, like, a regular, you know, just, what we normally run on. You know, most people are running on a hashtag A drive, or a Hitachi, although those are kind of rare. So, the next one I have up is NMG. The tunnel clip is not possible in NMG, but the reason why I have it up here is because it is one of the more popular categories, and it, you know, the thing is with this category is that pretty much any time save that gets found in no pause storage, it nearly always affects NMG as well because of how similar they are. Like, yeah, BBBH forward stuff, oh wait, no, yeah, actually, yeah, BBBH forward stuff. This has BBBH forwards now. But, like, it also would benefit from the token deaths, you know, and because this is a shorter category with the... You know, not as much of an endurance test, like, you're more willing to do, like, the fast time save here, probably, so that's 7 seconds. This was done a while ago, so I think it might have been before the spin strat. I would need to check. Oh, no, never mind, okay. Still, though, 7 seconds from that, so that gets us down to a 19. Faster SCDA stuff, so that's like 16, and this was before knowing how to get like a fast ending for SCDA, so that's probably consistently a few, like, well, I say, I'm pretty sure it's hard, but probably another like 3 seconds, that's down to like a 13. Honestly, I feel like all tokens probably should have, because it also benefits from the tunnel clip. Yeah, I should go in this order. Yeah, I'm not redoing this video though. Lol. So all tokens, my run was absolutely phenomenal at the time. It really was. Like, it probably was like the best run I had ever done. But yeah, it's kind of outdated now. Like, it is still really good. I try to beat it. I spent like a few days beating it, and I was on pace a few times, but it's so hard to beat because, like, other than a few things, I mean, the run has nearly, for the time, it had almost no mistakes, and now there are additional time saves and stuff, but it's still just like, fucking hell. So, this run was so long ago that it was with the Chaotic Wave 3. This is how long ago it was. Literally all of my other records that have Now That I'm in Combat have at least a version of the Wave 3, because there were 2 versions. So it has at least the older one, which can be as fast. It usually is if you don't die or severely fuck it up. And it can be as fast as the most recent one. But this is just, like, this is really slow. Well, I got at the time, like, a good combat. Might not seem like it because I lost 12, but losing 12 back then was pretty normal. But yeah, no, I can thrash this now. But, oh, and also, because of the new strat, it's actually realistic to not upgrade health. So that's like another 3 seconds on top of that. And then, yeah, the token deaths, and I lost, like, 20. It is, like, I don't like the word free, usually, but, like, genuinely, pretty much objectively free time save. I forgot to get the fucking combat warp. And I had to die. And I lost a bunch of time. And this was during the old Spewer Boost strat era, I believe. Let me check. Yeah. So, while I'm still not that likely to get... Okay, well, I did. Okay. But still, though, like... That was a really big mistake. You know, that's a holy free time save, right? So again, you got, like, the 7 seconds in 3K, theoretically weenie out of bounds, but that's not happening. Like, some time save in SCDA, like, free time save in Now That We're Men. Also, I made a stupid mistake in Gask. I watched one of the cutscenes... Didn't I? Dude, nah, I swear I did. Yeah, 251 I must have. So that's like, you know, 5 to 6 seconds lost. But then, you know, I got 7 Sunday jumps. So, I think back then with Rock Slide I wasn't as good with, like, avoiding manlies when I didn't need them, so there's maybe, like, a second there. Again, a few seconds from not upgrading health. Like, I don't know. Oh wait, this might have been... It might be time save in Weenie, depending on... Hold on, let me check. Nah, never mind. Oh yeah, this was also before BBBH combat strats, and they aren't really faster, but they're more and Depression as well. Like, they've all gotten strats that make them more consistent, which means that even just matching this time would be easier than before. But then you got, like, the Now The Men's... Like, you can, like a really... Well, this run is still hard to beat, but if I grinded as much as Hundo, like, I could definitely get it down to, like... Let's see... I mean, I could get it down to, like, 1x, honestly. I could get it down to, like, 1x. And then you could say, like, oh, well, then with the out-of-bounds strat, like... You know, that makes a... Even all token... Okay, well, I probably should have had any percent here, but whatever. The order that this is meant to go in is NLR, any percent OG, Hundo, any percent GameCube, all tokens, no major glitches. That's the order that it's supposed to go in, but I made a bad order. But yeah, the problem is that this doesn't save as much time. I don't know why it doesn't. Like, I still don't understand why it doesn't save as much time. Let me read the thing. Oh yeah, also you'd lose a fucking ridiculous amount of manlies, which would force you to do Rock Slide too early, which is not even factored into the timing, but that would lose you time. Oh yeah, the movement to the out-of-bounds spot is slower. Oh yeah, because you have to effectively grab, you know, you don't literally have to grab the, but like you have to grab the combat warp in a slower way, and then all of this is a detour, as opposed to the detour starting from when you grab the extra. And then it is pretty much the same. I even, like, re-recorded this tunnel clip and even got a slightly faster one, so that's, like, an additional second to the hundo version. But yeah, like, that's enough to make a significant difference. Look, it's not saving nearly as much. It's saving 17 instead of, you know, like 26 or whatever. But still, that would, like, barely push it over the edge. So that is why it is the next possible, even though it's not. It is GameCube any percent, that is the, actually. Like, these 4 are the ones where it's, like, actually possible, like, without being completely fucking the most unreasonable thing ever. In this order. So, I'm not gonna go over that, like, it is mostly repeating the same steps, and, well, like, you can see here, Chad has said, my first good movie run, time losses, missed disco skip. I don't know how many times you missed it, but probably just the once. We can go have a look. Yeah, so that's not a huge time loss, but obviously in a category this short. And then missing the token. Oh, wait, well, at some point he missed a token, I don't know, he said something about that. Missed a 2-frame on Now the Men End level. Missed 1. This category is really hard, for the record, like all the token 2-frames and stuff, like you can't cheese it, like half cheese it, like on Xbox. And then there's also like, the slower loads are harder to stomach. It's probably faster to eject the memory card on a real Wii, but then it's hard to get like the loads to be as good as Dolphin, because Dolphin emulates basically like a pretty much a perfect version of this game. And, you know, there's the infinite load chance, and there's, you know, poor storage is kind of awkward and difficult and just kind of eh. Like, it could be frustrating to do the same exact thing this many times. And, you know, only to miss it, like, a couple times. It's just like, damn, I did the same trick, like, a million times, and missed it, like, twice, and now the run's fucking over, you know? It's like that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean... And this, you know, there's some Neptune times it, like, I don't know... Like, Chaz's move is probably fine. Also, you don't see that many cutscenes on GameCube, but GameCube cutscenes can be a bit like, they can kind of take ages to actually start sometimes. And there's bound to be time save in Neptune. Yeah, missed a shot there, and pre-spin strat. It's probably pre-guitar strat as well, or at the very least, probably just didn't... Let's see. Did you do the guitar strat? Yeah, see, like that would have saved time as well. So, like, there is time save anyway, but also, like, you would do a faster route. I'm not sure how much it would change things, but I believe it's something to do with, like, planned combat or whatever. I think you just warp to it once, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, there is, like... I do believe it is, like, doable. If you... Just because the run is short enough to where you could just be like, oh yeah, just make no mistakes, kick W. It is actually possible to make, like, effectively no real mistakes. Especially because that would still give you the leniency to, like, take time to set up the token 2-frames and stuff, and then you got, like, the Neptune stuff. And, yeah. I feel like it is almost certainly, like, doable. And with the faster route as well. I don't know if, like, there's... You know, maybe Cirque can be involved in this somehow, I don't know. But, yeah. Then it would be Hundo, which I already went over. Then it'd be all tokens, which I already went over. So now the last one is NMG, I already said, like, you know, 7 seconds. And then, like, SCDA stuff. You know, it could get it down to, like, a low 1x. Oh, also, actually, that's not even factoring the time saves in the run itself. I missed guest jumps. It was a fast miss, but I still missed it. Although this run is actually looking pretty good right now, looking at it. There's also a faster fight at the end of the BBBH. I say end, you know, the beginning of BBBH, which saves, like... I don't even know how much it saves, like half a second, a second. Yeah, although, again, this run is actually looking quite good. I believe this was good spew boost set. I say good in quotations. Yeah, I was, and yep, I missed it, so at least there'd be a higher chance of being able to get it. Although I did get the fucking rubber 1 frame, so, you know. I even golded, whatever it's called, here monster. But again, there's some, you know, there's time saves and stuff. Yeah, oh wow, I lost 10 seconds off the gold in NMG. Damn, Zam. Oh, dude, I forgot this was a fucking combat mid-game as well. So, I changed the route on my splits so that I do SCDA Sponge Ball, well, I don't know if you want to call this mid or late game, but that is better, because I believe theoretically it loses a little bit, but because you have upgraded guitar, well, guitar at all, then that makes Wave 2 and 3 more consistent. So you're trading, like, a very tiny amount of time loss theoretically for consistency, which will, like, 8 times out of 10 at least will save you time, so that's just made the run easier. And Sponge Ball is faster than combat initial, like, well, it's a faster token, so that allows me to get to, like, Sunday and Gesk faster as well, which, you know, allows me to reset faster if I need to. Yeah. But yeah, I missed guest jumps, and I missed Dennis 2 token frame. Was this before modern throwing fruit strats? I don't think it was. Where is it? Oh, and again, SCDA floating block. Nah, it's the modern shit, okay. Did I get Sunday jump? What are you doing, Brev? Okay. Yeah, I got Sunday jump. Honestly, it's been a while. It's a little hard to remember some of this stuff. And then Plank was probably good. And Knucklehead was good. And Neptune was probably good. I choked a little bit, but yeah. So, I would say the 118 is just not within reach right now. Even with the 3K stuff, I would have to, and the other stuff, I would still be playing similarly close to Sum of Best, as I did in No Pause Storage when I got the 1 flat 49, and that was the, like, only No Pause Storage run, you know, optimized No Pause Storage run, to play within a minute of Sum of Best, at the time. It was like 58 seconds off the sob, I believe, and I would have a little more leniency here, but I would also, the run is longer, the run is objectively harder as well. It is, like, effectively the same run, except, like, you do stuff later, there is an additional sandwich out of bounds, there is an additional guest jumps, and there's plank out of bounds stuff, or plank lag clips, there's plank sponge ball, but, you know, it's longer, so that just makes it harder by default. And there's combat as well. Like, it is just harder. There is nothing really about it that's easier other than having more leniency off the sub in the first place. But if you're trying to get a 118, you don't even have that. So, getting a 118 with all those strats and everything, like, it is possible, but, like, it would probably be an even better run than how good the No Pause Storage run was at the time. So, yeah, it'd probably be, like, basically 10 out of 10 run, maybe, like, 9.5. But, you know, if there's a will, there's a way, I suppose. I mean, you could also just do block boost, although that's not really worth it anymore. Winning out of bounds on dead runs, but if the run's dead, then it wasn't on a good pace anyway. Yeah. There are other ones, well, not really other ones, but there's, like, stuff I didn't include, like, all extras, because, like, bruh. There's a couple of small time saves, but, like, literally, like, nah. Like, that's just not happening. Frogfish, like, literally never happening unless we find, like, absolutely game-breaking stuff, like, bypassing checkpoints in sandwich driving. You know, something like that. A way to deal more damage to Frogfish without having to unlock Cartwheel, because that would save a lot. Even then, that might not be enough. It would depend. You know, like, it's just, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much, Frogfish is just, like, a complete no-go. What am I doing? Oh yeah, so no, early powers has that fogger boost that nobody's willing to do, but that saves like 15. But other than that, like, where else are you gonna save the time? Again, that would come from something really unreasonably big, like sandwich driving, objective stuff, or ball storage, you know, that kind of thing. EPAE is maybe a little more likely, just because the run is definitely less optimized, and as long as it has, you know, but even then, I really just don't think it's anywhere near... I think the EPAE run, actually, it was before modern, now that I'm in floating block strats for the extra, so that'd be like 9 seconds of time save, to be fair. But the rest of the run, I remember it being, like, good, at least, so... I wasn't, like, even though I went to... my objective was to kill every category, except for NLR, which didn't exist at the time, and, the any percents, which I haven't touched. And I don't really want to touch... I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yeah. Like, I was a little more lenient with the extension times because, like, there's never a desire for people to fucking play them anyway. But all the runs were still, like, very good at the time. Like, I was kind of... Like, my worst run was... It probably was, either all platforming levels or EPAE, and they're both, like, pretty good runs for the time. Probably, like, 8 out of 10 runs now is probably, like... I don't know, probably 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, which is still good. ETU, I think, like, nothing's really been found. I mean, again, I guess a faster floating block, for SCDA. It's kind of is, isn't it? I think it's, yeah, maybe Neptune spin strat might have not existed at this point, but yeah, and then again, it's like, oh, ball storage, but that's just, like, stupid hypothetical stuff. If we're talking which one is most likely to get to the next 10-minute barrier, that would change things a little bit, because that requires, like, theoried stuff. I mean, the next one, it probably would be some ball storage thing, which means the hundo and all tokens would be the most likely, especially because they're main categories. So yeah, probably just those two. Anyway, back to the minute barrier stuff. This run was fucking nuts. I don't think anything's been found since this run. So, again, maybe the spin stuff, but I don't think so. All platforming levels, BBBH and depression combat stuff. Yeah. Maybe a token death? I don't know if it'd be worth a token death for Steamed. I don't even know if that'd be worthwhile in APL. Might be? That would hardly save anything if it does save time. Yeah, it's just, like, meh. I think I upgrade... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I upgrade health to max in this, so I could just not use that cheat, maybe? Because it's only really for now that I'm in combat and we have the modern strat. Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, I mean, it only takes, like, a couple seconds to put in the cheat, but I guess. But yeah, it's, again, like, nah. And cheat percent, the only way it'd be possible would be being able to do some kind of, like, double hit bullshit Neptune stuff, or some, like, arbitrary code execution, and in both situations, that would affect, like, every category except for Frogfish. So, literally, like, at that point, like, every category would have a way of getting to the next minute barrier, so... If we're talking which one's the least likely to see a minute barrier, it's either Frogfish or cheat percent. You know, at least, like, all extras has, like, the entire rest of the run ahead of it, but, like, Frogfish is a very limited category, even though you do, you know, a few levels, and cheat percent would be entirely reliant on Neptune. It would be entirely reliant. Not even ball storage reliance, because it's, like... what's it called? It, like, literally... I mean, we can't do ball storage for Neptune, really, because it's a SpongeBob level. Or at least it'd be insanely unlikely, because it's a SpongeBob level. So yeah, I just don't... Like... Well, yeah, what's more likely? Enough time saves, within the first few levels of the game to get to a... Which, again, then it would affect, like, every category anyway. Or... for Neptune shenanigans. And it's probably... Frogfish is probably more likely, so yeah, the least likely one is almost certainly cheat percent, and then Frogfish, then probably, like, APL, and, yeah, who cares? I do have no pull storage here. I did already make a video titled, like, when will it happen? And the video was basically me just explaining how it's just not gonna happen anytime soon. And yeah, since then, I think, I don't remember if the floating block thing was before, I think it was after I made that video. We got the 7 seconds in 3K. It's kind of a, yeah, I don't know. Like, 3x is clearly, like, 100% doable. 2x is probably doable. But then where do you go from there, you know what I mean? I just had it here as a little mention, because here's the thing, right? Other than maybe NMG, the most ran category, like actively ran category, is no pull storage. And that it was a small factor in, again, factoring like which one is most likely to get, and which minute barriers are most likely to happen in what order. And I'll just like play the thing. Like, yeah, my standards are a bit higher. I've gotten a couple golds, so the potential's a little higher. But at the end of the day, like, if I'm not the one to get 59, like, I mean, people will need to catch up to my, again, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to stroke my ego. It's just that, like, somebody needs to, well, they don't need to catch up to my skill level if there's enough time save, but I would probably be willing to come back if it wouldn't. You know, like, if 40 seconds of time save dropped right now and it wasn't even, like, that hard, or, like, after grinding it for a bit, like, a week or whatever, it's not, like, particularly hard, or hard enough to, like, justify, like, not playing, then I would come back and get 59. I really, 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 really want 59. It is, like a sub-hour barrier in a game is usually, like, the most insane accomplishment, no matter what happens afterwards. In most games, the most insane accomplishment, because then there is literally no other minute barrier that could ever like, okay, yeah, like, maybe one day movie no pull storage will be fucking a 45 or something, right? That is almost definitely not gonna happen, but the fact that it is a technically non-zero chance, but after getting to a 59, you can't get to the next minute barrier, hour barrier, that is the last hour barrier. So when it's already the most popular category, and a lot of time saves that get found in other categories can transfer to this category, and, like, you know, it's a category that allows ball storage. What else? Like, again, like, you do a decent amount of every level, like, and again, it's the most ran, so it's the one that people have most interest in, and the fact that 59 hasn't happened yet, it just goes to show, like, you know, like, somebody will want to do it, whether it's me or someone else. I really hope it isn't just, like, easy as fuck when the day comes. I hope it's not just like, oh, we found Sunday time ball storage skip, and, like, you only have to reload, like, 3 times, so it saves, like, a minute, and now 59 is, like, really easy, because I just have to get basically the same run, but, like a decent bit worse. It'd still be, like a pretty decent run, but, like, that'd be lame. I would want it, I don't need for it to be, like, a 10 out of 10 difficulty run, but, like, you know, I preferably, like, 8.5 to 9 out of 10 difficulty run, like, still really hard and would still take, like, a few months to get. Like, even though I'm wanting to pursue, like, YouTube and stuff, like, depending on, like, how that would go, and depending on how long it takes until I feel like 59 would be within reach, like, I would maybe be willing to just kind of, like, voice crack, I think I'd be willing to just kind of temporarily abandon any kind of YouTube career so that I could, because it, you know, when you've been playing the game for as long as I have, it's like, you feel like you need to see it through to the end, but right now, for what's doable, I feel like I have. Like, again, like, the 2 minute barriers that I deemed, you know, like, very realistic are NLR and 80% OG, and I haven't ran those categories. And then Hundo is with, like, an asterisk. And then the rest are, like, pretty much not possible, really. So it's just, like, oh, and 80% GameCube, I forgot to mention that one. Well, I might have said both the 80%, or I might have just said 80% Xbox, I wasn't paying attention to what I was saying, but yeah. That's just, like, a little tangent. It isn't really even that relevant to the video, but it's just, like, no pull storage is an honorable mention, because of the desire to get 59 in itself. Like, maybe 219 in Hundo will become more viable than no. I highly doubt it, but let's just say that becomes more viable than no pole storage 59. But still, somebody gets no pole storage 59 first because, you know, it's a category that people actually want to run. So yeah, when it, like, obviously it will happen eventually. When that day comes, it'll be a pretty big day. Even if it's free as fuck, it'll still be cool. It'll still be like a little neat novelty at the very least. Whether, I mean, I don't think it's how early will probably ever happen, but it'll probably just be some shit we haven't thought of yet. It's like some way to double hit bosses, or some ball storage thing that hasn't really been explored. Maybe some save exploit thing, maybe a new VMS. But yeah, but again, like, all those big things would affect other categories as well. And then how possible 59 would be, if it's like a 1 minute time save, I would immediately rush back to get 59 before anything else. So yeah, if a big thing gets found, then the next minute barrier is almost certainly 59 and no pole storage, if it's like a really big thing. Especially because of how weird NLR and both the any percents are, they most likely wouldn't benefit from whatever this huge time save could be, like, again, like a sandwich driving, skip, or whatever. Anyway, that was the video. Not like the most exciting thing in the world, but I don't know. I just had some video ideas. I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I'm just kind of a little low on ideas, and I didn't want to upload a Pokemon thing after the Direct thing. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.